Are we live? We're live.
We're live.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. We're Taco Collective. We're going to run through an amazing chicken tinga, a little takeover, using Mexican Mama's ingredients, which have really thankfully sent us through a post. Rahil is the chef. He's going to run through the ingredients with you. A bit of background about ourselves. We're a little collective between my twin brother and I, and a mate called Chris, who's actually not here at the moment, self-isolating in Birmingham. I'm sure he's watching right now. So we're gonna just take you through one of our best-selling recipes within our residency we do in Lewisham. I'm sure some of our clientele are watching at the moment, and we're gonna run through the ingredients with my lovely chef in crime. What's up, guys? I hope you have a drink just like me. Always enjoy cooking. That's the way you have to do it. This is Mexican food. Enjoy yourself. So this is a super simple dish, and this is the reason why we're showing it to you. It's a bestseller, like Nikhil said, and we love it. Our customers love it, and it's got heat. It's got a bit of coolness to it. It's got a bit of everything, a bit of crunch. So let's take you through to the ingredients over here. So we've got some chicken thighs, perfectly amount of fat in there. It's boneless, and we've got we don't use breast because it's a bit too tough, I think. So that fat will just add a little bit of yeah, the thigh just absorb all that flavour.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, really. Just kind of melt into the pot.
Exactly. And then we've got some onions over here. I've used about 2 medium onions, chop them up nicely, and then we've got some garlic, about half a bulb. So let's take you over here. So this is the bad boy. This is the heartbeat of Mexican cooking. This is an important thing.
Yeah, no, it's super important. I mean, a lot of people have asked me how they can cook the chicken tinga today. I said, without this, yeah, you're not really in luck. So we'll run through exactly why that's required.
It's smoky, it's sweet, it's just that fire that adds to it that we love. We love fire, we chase heat.
It's basically a smoky jalapeno, but we'll go through that in a little bit. And there is a substitute if you don't have it, either way. So
we've got a first question. Are we actually Mexican?
Do we look Mexican?
I think you do look a bit Mexican today.
Yeah. I mean, I did chop off my lovely moustache, which I usually curl up, but unfortunately I had to chop. Yeah.
It's kind of like a secret, but our food is very similar to Mexican food, and that's why we love Mexican food so much, and we can relate to it just because of that. And so we are going to go through to, we've got some chopped tomatoes over here. Very important, you get some good quality ones as well. There's a lot of flavour in that, and it's the base for our sauce, to be honest. We have some refried beans, and that will be the base of our taco, of our tostada, and it's nice and creamy, and it will add some good flavour. We have some toppings as well. We've got some salsa roja, which is what Mexican Mama kindly donated to us, and that will add just a little bit of kick on the top.
A little bit of fire. I mean, we tasted some last night, and it's bloody brilliant. It's really nice.
Some sour cream, and that will add a bit of coolness to the heat, because you need a little bit of coolness, and it will balance out really nicely. Some limes and some coriander for garnish. These two things we can't live without. We want to be swimming in lime juice, whether it's a margarita or whether it's tacos.
Swimming in lime.
And last but not least, we've got some tostadas, kindly donated to us by Mexican Mama again. Really crunchy. We tried them last night, that's why there's hardly any left. We've been enjoying it so much that, there's not much in this packet. But yeah, that crunch, it kind of surprises people, Nick, doesn't it? Like, everyone
there's a lot of time. So we basically serve this in Lewisham. A lot of you guys have probably been there. Sutton's Radio pub residency we have, along with Chris. And a lot of people get surprised by that kind of crunchy element. And the chicken tinga should never be on a soft taco. It should always be that kind of nicely crisp crunch.
Everyone wants a bit of crunch. Who doesn't like crunch? Hands down. A bit of soft shell tacos, a bit of crunch in there as well with our tinga on our menu.
Exactly.
That's why it's popular. Just going back on the black beans. Black beans again, Mexican Mama. Really good. We tried them last night actually. It's some of the best beans we've tried before.
It's kind of unfortunate because I mean the black beans we've used beforehand. I mean these guys, they trump it. These black beans, I mean there's a lot more flavour, a lot more depth to it. Again, thank you Mexican Mama for that. It's amazing. And then also Mr. Tapatio, which we forgot about actually.
So we missed him massively.
We missed him massively, Mr. Tapatio. And by the way, this is not a promotion. However, it's probably in every single taqueria in Mexico City when
Yeah,
we went there.
we last met him in Mexico City. We haven't seen him.
We
since
haven't seen
he
this
came.
guy since.
He got into our house, so
Yeah, so thank you for that again.
Hot
And
and
we'll be
spicy.
using some of this
we
for our
definitely will. We definitely
plating
will.
up.
Cool, guys. What we're going to start off with is we're going to start off and sautéing these onions and the garlic because that's going to basically add a bit of depth to. Did a bit of depth and garlickiness to our dish. I love that sizzle. Who doesn't love that sizzle? Well, I'm loving that sizzle right now. How about you guys?
Yeah, it's
Nothing
just that,
better than that.
Bit
Bit
of
of oil in there.
On a Sunday afternoon, the sun is out, and you just want that kind of sizzle, the smell.
whack it
You
in
know
there.
you're doing well. Lovely.
So okay, cool. So this should take about 5 to 6 minutes, maybe a bit longer, maybe 8 minutes max. Let's just give that a bit of a. Let's saute that, and then what we're going to do now is that we're going to work on the sauce whilst this is cooking. So let's go here. Okay, so we're going to be using the chipotle and adobo and the peel plum tomatoes.
You can get these plum tomatoes anywhere. We've used, we literally just went to Sainsbury's and got this stuff. Some Italian peeled tomatoes. Obviously, the better the quality, the better the flavour. Make sure they're nice and juicy and really ripe.
So as we were talking about earlier, this is a chipotle and adobo. An adobo means sauce in Mexican. It's basically got like some spices in there, some garlic, some onions, a bunch of other flavors in there. And this is basically, like we said, the heartbeat. Without this, there's just not as much flavor. If you can't find this, I would suggest you do find it and go on Mexican Mama. But if you can't find it, you can replace it with a bit of paprika, smoked paprika. There is also chipotle peppers that you can find in Sainsbury's or other supermarkets. So this is an important thing. These are fire roasted jalapenos. Not many people knew that. I don't
No.
think you knew that until I told you today. And this brings a.
Yeah, I'm usually front of house, by the way, in the residency. These guys are the chef, him and Chris. So I'm learning a lot throughout this process.
We do the doggy work, and he does all the glamour work, so
Yeah.
so to speak. So
I just smile.
he just smart, just like now. So with this chipotle and adobo, it's gonna add a smokiness to it. It's gonna add a chocolatiness, chocolate flavour to it, sweetness to it, and yeah. So that we're gonna now blend this up. We're gonna blend this up, and this is gonna be.
Nice little fine paste.
We're going to use a whole can because we've got about 1.2 kg of chicken, so we like it spicy. I don't know about you guys, but if you don't like it as spicy,
really spicy.
if you don't like it as spicy, then you can just limit the amount of chipotle.
So would you recommend just using half a can?
You can use half a can. You can even go by taste. You can blend a little bit, taste it, and see. There's also salt in there, so you don't really have to add too much salt. I love salt. I don't know about you guys. Everyone knows me for liking salt.
Are you salt bait?
I
Are you salt bait today?
Well, yeah. See, I mean, they call me. They don't call me Salt Bae, but I do wear the shades just the same as him. I cannot do what he does. It's magical. So okay, so we're gonna now blend this. So this is a whole can of chopped tomatoes and a whole can of.
And we do recommend us having a small blender at home. You know, you can get this for about 20-30 quid.
Just blitzing that now. Just make sure it's smooth. The smoother, the better. So you can see that there's a little bit of rusticness going on over there. You can see it. It's sort of like not fine, but there's yeah, it's sort of like it's however you guys want it to be. If you want it a little bit smoother, just keep on cracking on. I kind of like the sound of it. It makes me feel like it's really tough, you know.
So the onions, we just need to be kind of translucent, not overly brown.
Yeah, it's just translucent's fine. To be honest, there's another way that you can do this as well. We sometimes roast the garlic and we roast the onions, which is a little bit of a trick.
In the oven.
It's a secret thing. We weren't doing it today because it was a bit too.
Oh, you just revealed our secret.
Too difficult to do right now. It's roasting stuff. We want to sort of show you we're doing a bit of work. We're not letting the oven do the job. So, but roasting the tomatoes, we're roasting some garlic and some onions, and combine that with a little bit of chicken stock. We'll really get that like nice fired flavour. And in Mexican cooking, they roast a lot. They roast.
I think it just develops the
chili.
flavours a lot, you know, especially with the oven. It's completely different to kind of.
Adds another layer of depth
definitely, yeah.
to it. And even though the onions and the garlic and the tomatoes, or even the chilies, when they roast and look burnt to fuck, like they look really burnt. but it actually adds more flavour. There's no bitterness to it as long as you don't overdo it. But that's a cool trick, and we're not doing it now, but we definitely had that on.
So guys, feel free as well
in the
to
future.
you know, ask some questions, you know, about anything we're doing. If you want us to show you a few things, or you have any questions about what we're doing and how to obtain
You see that there?
all the
It's
ingredients,
nice and smooth, and there's a sort of deep red colour there. So it's not like obviously tomato paste. It's sort of darker. It's almost like sun-dried tomatoes. It's just that real sort of depth to it. You can see that, and the redness that comes out from the chipotle. I can even smell it now. Can you guys smell that? You
Yeah,
can
it
really
smells
smell
amazing.
that chipotle. I almost want to lick it right now. I won't lick it in front of you guys. I only do it behind closed doors.
amazing, amazing. You can look at it now, mate. No worries. We're in our own home.
It's coming along nicely.
It is, and I love the smell of the fresh onions as well, and a bit of garlic. And
So we've got.
you can also, and as La Cucina mentioned last weekend, we don't measure.
We don't
we
measure.
we literally just add, you know, the onions, garlic, whatever we want, the ingredients and the flavours, kind of according to taste.
We always go
And we always go a bit more garlic.
Sometimes we screw up and we do that, but it's trial and error. I think it's just adjusting to what you feel like you want in there. You can put 3 onions in there, you can put 5 garlics in there. It depends on how you want it to be. We sort of just go with our instincts.
That's
So,
good.
so we've got a question. Where can we find you once coronavirus has settled down?
That's
Well,
a very interesting
very,
question.
very interesting
because-
question, yeah.
Because at the moment we are actually, so we had a pop-up in Lewisham at a pub called Sutton's Radio, and we were going for about 2 months, really enjoying it, and then suddenly coronavirus came along, and so we're now at home. We're trying to figure out some ideas and some solutions around this.
Guys, what would you suggest? I mean, we've spoken to a few delivery options.
Yeah.
We've had a delivery on board as well, maybe by the 1st of May. See how that goes, possibly.
Thinking about maybe going from tacos to burritos if we're going to go into delivery, because that will sort of travel a lot better. And so it's a new thing for us. We've never done burritos before, but that's something that we might do in the future, maybe in the coming weeks. Watch our space. To see us.
Just had a little follow on Instagram.
There's also Cinco de Mayo festival that was supposed to be at Peckham Levels, and then that got cancelled. But now there's going to be a potentially virtual festival out there.
Yeah, you have to join that, so we'll definitely be joining.
It's on
we-
the
is
1st
it-
of May or 2nd of May, I believe, one of those dates. So just watch our space. We're looking at festivals, we're looking at catering as well in the future. Maybe doing some more pop-ups and maybe getting into central London or sort of East London a little bit
So
more.
are we doing an Elmstead Lane pop-up? Have we requested permission from Mum and Dad yet?
I don't think we should be reviewing
Yeah,
our
they're-
next live event.
They're watching, by the way. So
So, hi mum, hi dad.
I think
They're
our
basically
parents-
isolating in India at the moment.
Isolating in India at the moment, so this is kind of our bachelor pad, and which is kind of a good thing. So we just stay there as long as you can. We're really enjoying ourselves, but they're probably watching. So just to make sure we're
Yeah.
not making a mess in the kitchen.
By the way, the gas bill is running up to full length at the moment. I'm so sorry about that. But anyway.
we're going to invest in some slow cookers. It uses a lot less energy than the gas, so a lot less cost. So we're
My dad is very concerned about the
Right,
gas
cool.
bill
So
usage.
this looks like it's good to go. So what we're going to do now is it's so simple, guys. Honestly, all we've done is saute some onions, some garlic. As soon as you start smelling the fragrances in that garlic and in that onion, you're going to pour this. We pour that in now. Burning.
Look at that.
If you just pass me that spatula over there. Okay, cool. So we're just going to. The lighting might not be that great here. The amount of natural light we have here isn't great, but hopefully you guys can see what's going on.
So someone said chipotles are not so spicy. We probably agree with that. However, I think it just depends on how much chipotle you put in your paste.
Yeah, I mean, the more you use, the more spicy it's going to be for sure. I mean, it is one of the spicy, spicier spices in the Mexican sort of spice dictionary. I mean, it's got like. It's got a heat, but it's got that sweetness, so it balances it out
It
nicely.
has a very good balance to it. I think the flavour's really
I mean,
on
it's a sun-dried jalapeno, or it's a roasted jalapeno. So I mean, jalapenos are quite spicy. It just depends on how you use it. You want to cook off that chipotle, because when it cooks off, the aromas will come out and it will start getting a little bit more spicier. You know, sort of the spice will get released nicely. So. I mean, if you want it to be slightly more spicy, I would maybe suggest, not maybe on this recipe, but habanero is one of my favourite spices. It's got fruitiness to it, and love it. It's so spicy, it knocks you out. I think Owen's watching as well. We asked him and his girlfriend Antea to sort of bite off the end of a dried habanero, and they thought that it was gonna be fine, and then moments later they exploded and had to go to the to
A&E.
A&E. So watch out for habanero. If you want something spicier, habanero. Salsa de arbol is another one as well. That's kind of cool. Like it's a nice thin spice. For Mexican food. Ancho chilies are less spicy. It's more for base levels and things. And guajillo, and they're very important spices that we use in our cooking. But we're not going to go into it too much today, but we're definitely going to use it in the future for our other recipes because they're very important ingredients. So the moment, if you can see, we're going to turn up the heat slightly so this can start bubbling away. So just basically stir it and keep that going for about 30 seconds or so. We just want the flavours to release slightly. So what we're going to do next is we're going to put the chicken in here, and it's going to go in raw because what we're going to do is we're going to make that boil or sort of like stew inside that sauce, and we want it to be stewing for about half an hour. Don't try to do it longer than half an hour because it'll get a bit tough. And what we want to do is we want to start pulling the chicken, and so it's nice and tender still. So we're going to do that now. So here you go. So chicken thighs here. I would suggest leaving the chicken thighs out for about half an hour before you start cooking them because you want the internal temperature to drop slightly. So it can cook better. It will cook better. It will cook through faster.
And what if you use chicken breasts instead of chicken thighs?
I mean, you can use anything. You can use chicken breasts with skin on. You can use chicken legs. You can use any chicken you want, guys. There's no issues with what kind of chicken you use. It just depends on how tender you want it to be. Try to get a fatty chicken, but that's good quality chicken as well. We always go by good quality stuff.
So in Taco Collective, in our residency, we generally use chicken thighs, right, from the butcher.
We use chicken thighs, and sometimes we use it on the bone, but it's very difficult to pull the chicken.
And we don't want
when it's on the bone.
Kind of,
we don't want bones in there because then, imagine that. Just someone saying I've got a bone stuck in my throat, and
that would be an expensive lawsuit, I think.
It would be, and we haven't even got public liability insurance yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not
so.
yet.
How many grams of chicken was that?
That was about 1.2 kilograms of chicken. So 1.2 kilograms of chicken. If you're going to do measurements here, we'd use a whole can of chopped tomatoes, and a whole can of chipotle and adobo. That's going to be spicy. So if you want to do about 600 grams of chicken, half that. So you use half a tin of tomatoes and half a tin of chipotle and adobo, or go a bit less on the adobo. We don't want it to be ultra saucy. We really want that sauce to sort of reduce slightly, and because we're going to pull it, we're going to put it on the tacos.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't want to be swimming in this sauce.
And would you obviously Taco Collective, we don't pre-marinate the chicken. We basically have a pork pibil recipe and beef birria, which we pre-marinate and slow cook over about 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
With a chicken tinga, we don't need to pre-marinate the chicken, do we?
We don't pre-marinate the chicken because what we're going to do here is that we're going to reduce the heat down to a low level, and you don't want the chicken to overcook too quickly. And so what we're going to do, we've lowered the heat here. We're going to put the lid on maybe at half a jar, if you can see that. We just want sort of the sauce to slightly reduce, and we're going to leave that there for half an hour. Next, what are we going to do for half an hour? I mean, are we going to let everyone, all the viewers...
Yeah, should we just leave them there for half an hour? And
No, you guys can drink with us. I mean, I'm going to have a drink right now.
something.
My throat's getting dry, and it's all this is the first time we're doing this,
It's the first time we're doing it, so guys, can you please let us know out of 10 how we're doing?
Yeah,
because, I mean, do we look nervous? Well, I'm quite nervous, a little bit nervous. Are we nervous?
Lips are getting dry, getting a bit sweaty and stuff.
The weirdest thing is, right, all I can smell is like a lot of aftershave. And
I have to wear
perfume.
cologne. I mean, come on.
It's strange because you guys can't smell it.
Hoping that you guys could smell it, could transmit somehow, through from I don't know what. I mean, but let's see. I mean, so we're just trying to make the most of the situation, guys. We're doing this for you guys because we're in conjunction with Mexican Mama. We really love what they do. They're a wholesaler and they do pure Mexican ingredients. Nothing has been produced from the UK.
And a lot of people ask me where can you get the ingredients. I said you can't just walk down
And
the
those of
street.
you who
and get
probably
them.
watch, I don't know, there's people who are watching in India. Tell us where you guys are watching things from Netherlands. We might have some people in the US, or India, for example. just tell us like where you guys are coming from, who's watching from where, because these guys deliver worldwide.
Also,
So-
another thing as well, we've noticed people in isolation on lockdown have started experimenting a lot on certain recipes that they've never tried before, especially with Mexican cooking. So we'd love to hear your stories, maybe what you've cooked throughout these lovely weeks of lockdown. And we're going through obviously a chicken tinga with you because we think it's probably the easiest recipe.
It's the easiest recipe. If you're new to Mexican
Maybe.
cooking as well, guys, like you only need a few ingredients, and you can get these ingredients from Mexican Mama. It's simple, delivered to your door. Yeah, like 4 or 5 ingredients, maybe less than that. That's all you need. Even tostadas are just like they're done for you. You don't even have to bother frying tortillas.
So when you
It's all
started
done.
cooking, or when we all started cooking, obviously we're slightly nervous about using whole spices. We're slightly
Yeah, I
nervous
think
about
like,
using
in Mexican food, you've
different
got to
style
tackle.
sauces and everything.
You've got to tackle things that you kind of feel like are like look a bit daunting in the first place. Guajilos, these giant chilies, they're dry and it just looks like they look almost monstrous, but then actually they're very, very important ingredients. Ancho guajilos. If you use that as a base level for your cooking, you'll go from there to there in Mexican cooking. Like we didn't know about Mexican cooking until we went to Mexico. When we went over to, I went to Lisbon as well, and it was a taqueria that was doing amazing tacos. There was a line round the block. I had to wait about an
That's
hour.
when they're
right?
giving us free tortillas, weren't they?
Yeah, there was things that actually we did not ever hear of in Mexican food. Like never, we thought Mexican food was a guy wearing a sombrero hat, serving fajitas and singing a song with a guitar. I mean, we actually thought that's what it was, and it's so misinterpreted, that whole thing. We want to bring authentic Mexican cooking to you guys, and that's why we're doing it, because like we feel it's such an understated cuisine, and like,
And don't be afraid to use spices either. I mean, look, it doesn't have to be ultra hot, firing up, but
okay.
just balance it as you can.
So yeah, we've got a few questions.
Got a few questions whilst we're waiting for the chicken. I mean, we are going to wait for the chicken, but we have a little one thing in the background as well that we have had been cooking before, so we can go to that in a few minutes and pull that.
Oh, I thought they were going to wait half an hour.
Yeah, well, we can't give away so many secrets, but that's the thing, Just every now and then we'll just dish it in. So ask some questions, Armani.
So, firstly, a few people are asking what are you actually drinking, because it looks quite interesting.
Okay.
So we have this bad boy here. It's a very beautiful piece of equipment, because all you have to do is go bang, and it might make you an alcoholic and might not. I mean, look, this is not even pouring now because we've had so much. But it is grapefruit with some gin and some tonic. That is it. Just as simple as a tinga.
I think
Don't have to
some
put
of the
many
drummers just asked
ingredients
a
in there.
question as well. Where do we get our tortillas from? Actually, they're not tortillas. Well, they once were. But they're actually tostadas. And you can get these on Mexican Mama again.
And that adds a bit of crispiness to our dish. It will really, really like elevate the tinga. It will let everything sit on that tostada.
And that's what they look like.
If we had that on a soft shell taco, it would just collapse on you. You wouldn't really like enjoy it as much, and that's why I think traditionally they use tostadas. The chicken tinga is one of those ingredients where Mexican students from their family home would go to like their university, and the first thing that they would cook would be a tinga. And because it's super simple and it just brings them back to home.
And look, let us know what you first cooked as a student. I mean, my first meal was probably a pasta, it was a bit of pesto.
It's a bit different. Imagine that Mexican cooking, like literally in Mexico, they're cooking a chicken tinga in university. I mean, for us, it was baked beans on toast. I mean, come on, you guys know how to cook. You guys know like what you're doing out there with the flavors and everything. Like, we can't beat that. Although beans and toast is nice. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is here now, guys. We're gonna switch it up now. We're not gonna let you wait for half an hour whilst we guys ramble on and talk about stuff, even though you might be enjoying it slightly. We're gonna heat this up a little bit. We want to sort of turn the heat. So we're gonna show you what it would be looking like, what you should expect it to look like
About half an hour, 40 minutes.
in about half an hour. So I'm just actually gonna leave this on because we're gonna have a bit of this later, aren't we? So I'll leave that on the low. Okay, cool. So you can see, I'm just gonna light this up. So if you can see here, the sauce. It's looking a bit dry now, but obviously we just literally just putting on the heat. So you can see the sauce is sort of reduced here, and what you want that. You sort of want that. So that's why you shouldn't be putting the lid on directly. Like leave it at half a jar, or just even take it off and just like keep watching it. If you want that sauce to reduce, you want the flavors to absorb in that chicken. So let's wait for a little while. We need to just like heat this bad boy up, and I'm going to start pulling this soon. So any more questions, guys? Anyone coming from anywhere? Have we got any feedback on what's going on in the chat?
We've got Goa, we've got someone from Mexico as well.
Oh wow! Okay,
and
cool.
and Madrid. So
So
all
it's
across.
It's an international occasion. This is it. It's bringing the globe together through
Exactly.
through cook-offs, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to entertain you and show you some stuff at the same time that you guys will hopefully take into your own kitchen. So Nick, we're warming this up. So I guess what I'm going to do now is probably start pulling this once it just heats up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then we can start going to the prep area. We can sort of start maybe getting the beans on there.
Yeah,
We can start heating the. Let's start heating the beans up actually.
Yeah.
So
So these are the beans we're using. And like we said before, if you guys missed it, they're bloody good beans. They're not too salty, they have a good balance to it, have a little bit of a kick as well. So we basically use that as a base for the tostada. On top of that we have a bit of lettuce, chicken tinga which will be ready soon, and some sour cream with a hint of roja. So I'm going to show you now how to basically cook these bad boys. We don't use a microwave too often, so we're going to use this in a pan, which I'll show you in a short
So you can just see quickly, guys. Armand, if you just come over here, to pan over here quickly, so you can just see, all I'm doing is prodding on it. And you can see that it's just breaking apart nicely. So you want it to just break apart, because that's what the kind of tenderness you want.
It's really tender, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, if it's going to be slightly tough, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, honestly. Like, you just want the flavours to infuse. I mean, I don't even have to pull it. That's how tender it is right now. But I will, just to show you guys, just in case you don't know how to pull chicken. I'm sure you do.
If anyone asks also where we get these lovely dishes from, these are from our trip in Puebla. They're handcrafted, and it's probably one of the best things we've taken out from our trip, right?
Yes. I mean, they're known for pottery. They're known for those kind of designs. Puebla was one of our favourite places that we went to. I love Mexico City for sure. Want to go back to Mexico City, guys? I mean, I loved it. Puebla we went to Oaxaca. Oaxaca was awesome. We celebrated New Year's there.
New Year's Eve, that was pretty fun. We had a 24-hour hangover.
We had a 24-hour hangover because we had the worst mezcal I've ever had.
Oh, the best mezcal ever.
Because we thought that in Oaxaca, every mezcal is going to be amazing. Like Scotland, every Scotch is going to be amazing. But in Oaxaca, there's mezcal that's made in the back of the bathtub. And we had
it's a bit like gin in UK.
We had the bathtub mezcal, and that's why we felt like we needed. We felt like we were in a bathtub for about 24 hours. To be honest, we were sort of. But like there are good mezcals out there, and Oaxaca's a lovely place to go to.
I hope some of the guys who are watching actually are from that trip we've met. I think Son of the Drum, one of those guys are there.
Yeah, met him.
So actually,
so he knows our story quite well.
So Nick, are you adding a little bit of water in there? You've already added a bit of water in there just to sort of make it.
Yeah, so I'm just going to add a touch of water. I'll just leave that there on a lower heat.
Because when in the microwave, if you put it in the microwave, it might get a bit too dry. But when you're doing it on the hob, in the microwave it won't get dry. Sorry, it will retain moisture. But if you use it on the hob, it might dry up slightly. So just add a little bit of water, and then Nick, don't get confused with the gin. Don't get confused with it. We can add some gin in here. We can call it drunken beans. I don't know. Is that a new thing? Is that a thing? I don't know.
That much water.
Little pot.
Right, guys. So I'm going to actually pull this. It's kind of already pulled. That's how
tender it is.
How tender it is. Yeah. Juicy. That's it. Like the more juicy it is, the better.
So how long was that cooking for approximately?
Well, to be honest, so this is actually about after half an hour. I only literally I've reheated this. It's something that we prepared earlier. We didn't want you guys to wait for half an hour, but this is just reheated for about 5 minutes. The sauce is kind of reduced a bit too much for my liking, but you don't want it to be too saucy. You kind of want this chicken just to sort of absorb all the flavours. The reason why we're pulling it's easier to sit
and that's
on
one reason why we don't marinate it. It just absorbs all that flavour kind of within.
I don't even know if I need to pull it, guys. I mean, I can. Let me just.
I think you should show them.
I'm gonna put it on here. Let's just try and put it a little bit more. So let's slap that on here. Cool. So who's watching? Who's watching? Do we know anyone who's watching? We got any friends who are watching? Any shout outs? What's going on?
Anyone who's
Homies on Donkeys? What's going on, mate? Like Homies on Donkeys is one of the taquerias in the UK that we sort of admire because they do amazing tacos. They're pure legit Mexicans, unlike us. We're frauds, but we adore them. They're ahead of the game, and I hope they're watching. Let's see. So if you can see that, look, it's pulling nicely here. And that's the kind of, see, that's the color that you need. If you want to add a little bit more, so see, I kind of like reduce the sauce, but if you have a little bit extra,
putting
and you're
quite
cooking on
nicely,
the side, you can always cook them separately as well, just in case you want it to be drier or more. But that's actually quite saucy. You actually look, it looks dry, but it's not. There's a lot of sauce in there. It's all being absorbed. I hope you guys are getting hungry. I mean, to be honest, I wish I could deliver this stuff to you guys, but we're not on the platform yet. We might be in a few weeks.
And the smells are amazing. If you just like add a little bit of a woof here.
Yeah. It smells like Mexico, to be honest, and that's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely incredible. You can smell everything. Just
Got a request to bring it to Spain. Well, come visit us over here.
Yeah, come visit us
over
London,
here.
and we'll bring it over to you.
Cool. So the beans, then a bit of water in there. Nick, did you put vodka in there? Did you put gin in there? What the hell?
I added a touch of tequila.
So, okay, cool. So let's call them drunken beans then. So we've got to probably reduce this a little bit now. Like we want this to sort of thicken up slightly. We don't want it to be a runny paste. What we might do is actually, see, Nick doesn't normally do the cooking, so that's probably why it's gone all runny.
Well, we're just gonna increase the heat to reduce
Where are the beans, Nick? Have you got beans? We'll just add a few more beans in here, just to sort of thicken it up slightly.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yep. Cool. No, you just need to wait for it to thicken up slightly.
Do you add any other ingredients to the beans, or is it just literally straight?
Coriander, a bit more garlic if you wish, but I think the flavours are good enough as it is. So we haven't added anything actually.
Yeah, I guess you can add coriander and onions on the actual tostadas, isn't it?
Oh, you can do what you want with it. I mean, we always add a little bit of coriander and onion to everything. Coriander and lime to everything. And that's just sort of standard, really, in Mexican cooking. It's just... Coriander is just, and lime is just unbelievable. Like, we have it with everything. We don't even have it with just Mexican food. We have it with our eggs. We have it with... We have it with any other food, even potatoes, everything. It just comes out nicely. Right, here we go, cool. So that's thickened up slightly. If you just thicken up literally to get rid of the water content on there. So Nikhil's thickening that up right now.
Just in case you do put slightly too much water, you can just add the heat up a bit and then just reduce it accordingly. So it's not a major issue. Just take a little bit longer to cook. So these refried beans, you don't actually have to generally cook. I mean, you can just use them straight from the packet if you wish. But they're generally better either in the microwave or the pan as we're doing now.
Any more questions?
Send those
guys?
questions over, guys. We listen to a bit of music now as well. So do you guys listen to music when you're cooking? Do you guys have a drink? Do you guys just stay very silent in your mode, kind of meditation mode when you're cooking, or what's it going? We want to hear your stories as well. And it's a lovely summer's day. I hope it's as sunny as it is where you are.
Yeah.
Just have a little look. Lovely sunshine.
Beautiful day.
It's always a beautiful day, even when it's grey when you're cooking Mexican.
That chicken's looking good.
See that? Okay, so that's what we're gonna layer. We're gonna layer all that. We're gonna put this onto the tostada. Once Nico has done his beans, so we're gonna spread the black bean onto the tostada. We're gonna add a little bit of lettuce on there, and then we're gonna add the chicken, and then all our other toppings that we'll show you soon. Is that looking good, Nick?
Looking good. That's the kind of consistency we're looking for. Have you got any questions?
Have we been putting the recycling out? Dad has said.
Yeah, but ignore that question.
Yeah.
We have, but they've not been collecting our recycling. So
Yeah,
it's,
that's not
it's one
our-
of those
that's
things,
not our
you know,
fault.
It's we've been trying our best. We've been trying our best. We love recycling, guys. We love it. So
Sunnier than Madrid, apparently. Huh?
it's sunny in Madrid.
It's sunnier than Madrid.
Wow. Madrid's one of my favourite cities as well. I had a great time out there. I had way too many shots for sure.
So what's everyone doing? Does anyone want to give a suggestion what they're doing whilst they're in lockdown? Are they cooking?
Is
Yeah.
anyone cooking along?
Are they cooking?
Has anyone ordered the ingredients from Mexican Mama to cook along with us? I mean, obviously you've got to wait half an hour for the chicken to cook, but are you guys using different ingredients? Are you using paprika instead of chipotle, or you watching us and just chilling? I mean, what's going on? Are you guys
So are the tostadas baked or fried or?
So we in Taco Collective we shallow fry our tostadas. So it's tortilla.
And what kind of oil do you use?
So we use sunflower oil and we shallow fry it so it gets nice and crispy. You leave it in, you shallow fry it for about 5 minutes. Don't try to overdo it, otherwise it starts smelling and tasting like popcorn. So, but if you underdo it, it will get too flimsy. So you kind of want it to crisp up perfectly. And that's why these tostadas are so good, because these tostadas are like perfectly crispy. You don't have to worry about underdoing it or overdoing it. But if you are going to make your own tostadas, just fry it in oil with a corn tortilla, and that's all you have to do.
What?
You can't do it with a flour tortilla.
You can bake it as well. I mean, that's another option. It's a healthier option, but I don't think it will taste as good. I mean, I don't think do I look like I bake stuff? No, I always fry stuff. Fried stuff is just the way forward. Like I'm the chubbier one of the twins, so that's the way it goes. But like, yeah, so it depends on how you like it.
I'm getting there. Not down it. I'm getting there.
Cool. So if you see these beans now, like look at that. You see it sort of drying up on the top there, so you know that it's cooked. Because it's not too runny like it was before when Nico put all his vodka or whatever it was in their tequila. It is perfect. It's got a nice consistency there. So all you have to do now is just you just got to sort of plate that up over here and spread it. So obviously be delicate with this as well.
More questions here as well.
We've got a few more questions. Cool.
We've got a very, very, very good one here. What was the favourite taqueria whilst in Mexico? Very tough.
So no, straight away. I mean, to be honest,
Basilto.
there's two. No, so one was El Basilto, and the other. So our favourites. We live very close to it. We were in the Roma Norte district, Roma Condesa, and it was called Orinoco. And Orinoco had these in Mexico City. It had these amazing. They did amazing al pastor. And the difference between them and other people was that they would fry the pork off. When they would slice, they'd fry it on the grill so it would caramelise. And that just gave it that just extra bit of flavour. And then they would also serve it with potatoes, like crunchy potatoes. This is what we try to recreate in Taco Collective, and some onions and the best salsas, also fresh. We went there, there was always a queue outside, and sometimes we were lucky there was no queue. We just sat in there straight away, ate, and then we went on for a night out, had some cocktails. But El Basilto is another one which does really, really good al pastor.
I think that was the place. Was that the place where we had the spiciest salsa?
It was El Basilto basically is a motor garage by day, and by night it turns into a taqueria. It's insane. It's on Taco Chronicles as well. Yeah. If you guys want to watch that on Netflix, it's an amazing show on tacos, just purely tacos. And so when we had that sauce, it was a salsa de arbol sauce. It blew our heads off. Like for so much that actually the next day we had heartburn for the entire day.
I think we had heartburn for about 2 weeks.
Maybe 2 weeks. I mean, I had entire heartburn, but it was worth it. And I kept wanting to go back for more. That's how good it was.
But the pastor was incredible. I think that was one of the best places too.
Cool. So this is looking perfect, Nick. Really, really good. So we've now we've put the.
So this is the consistency of the beans.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, showed them already. So that's basics. Like they're the, so let's just be delicate with it. Treat it like your baby. Treat it like your lover, I don't know what, but like just treat it nicely. So cool. So we're going to put a bit of chopped lettuce. You guys know where to find lettuce. Come on, I'm not going to tell you where to find the lettuce. So, okay, cool.
We generally just go for iceberg lettuce or romaine lettuce. It really depends on your preference.
So Nikhil prefers a romaine lettuce.
I prefer the luxury lettuce.
He's a luxury item, Nick, isn't he? I like it. I like iceberg lettuce because it's got a crunch to it. So it adds that nice little crunch to it, and I like that. It depends on preference what kind of lettuce you guys want to use. Okay, cool. Now let's put the main ingredients. So this is basically the chicken tinga we have here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just place it on there. You can see it's not overly saucy as well. I probably know one or two people who don't like it too saucy. Some people like it dripping. Some people like it a bit of sauce on there. Depends on what your preference is.
So in general, we would leave this in a slow cooker after we've done pulled the chicken. So it will absorb all that juice and flavour. So it looks slightly juicier than what we've made here. Obviously, we've done a quicker version. It depends, again, on your preference, how juicy you like it. But again, the flavour will still be there. It'll be incredible.
It's all about the flavour, guys. I mean, and even if there's less sauce on there, you're going to use the sour cream to sort of wet that up a little bit. You're going to wet that up with the sour cream. Add some more in there if you want to. Look, we're going to do it La Chingada style. We're going to make this nice and big, with a
Big mouthful, that isn't it?
Well, it's all about mountains over here with me. You know, I add loads of salt, add loads of pepper. I'm heavy-handed sometimes, but you know, sometimes the more flavour, the better. So, okay, cool. So what we've got here is, or they're saying the bigger the better. Okay, now Nikhil's
So
going
we
to
have
put...
a starter, we have black beans, we have a bed of lettuce, and the chicken tinga, which is obviously you know, the main item. What we've made here is a bit of sour cream mixed up with a bit of lime juice. Obviously, we love limes. Crema, you call it, you name it, what you want. We usually add a bit of garlic as well and a bit of salt, but just pure sour cream is fine.
If you want to
too.
thicken it up slightly, you can add some creme fraiche in there and mix it up with the sour cream. It might thicken it up. I mean, this is nice. This is perfect. Nikhil's doing it like he's doing it like he's done it in his sleep. Like he is done.
So that's what we're looking for. That kind of consistency with the stripe.
Cheese bay. You want to go ahead?
Am I cheese bay now?
What type of cheese is this? By the way?
This is mozzarella.
It's grated mozzarella. The only thing is with grated mozzarella is that it's because it's already been grated, it's sort of waxed so it can last longer. There's more preservatives and things. So I would recommend grating your own cheese, or you can use other cheeses like feta. Feta's got that sort of saltiness to it, and it will cut through that spice. So
Can you kind of melt it as well? Or
you can melt. It should melt with the heat of the chicken. At the moment, our chicken's not like piping hot, so it might not melt so much. But we kind of like it when it's not melted, because
If you had one of those flamethrowers, you're very welcome to do that. However, we wouldn't recommend it inside your home. We like it a bit drier and a bit more fluffier, but again, it depends on your preference. So we're going to add a bit of roja to this. So we make a homemade roja. We tried what Mexican Mama sent us, and it's, like I said, it's bloody brilliant. Adds a lot of depth to the tinga.
Just add a little bit of spicy.
So-
It's like a cherry on the cake, and that's our cherry for our tinga.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just a little dribble.
Just a dribble. Just a
dribble.
It's a teasing amount,
Yeah, and it just looks really
so
presentable.
it doesn't overpower the dish.
So by the way, if anyone's asking what my role is at Taco Collective, this is essentially my role, plating up, making sure customers are happy.
Making it look good.
Yeah. And usually we wouldn't put any coriander on, however you can put what you want on. A little bit of squeeze of lime, a bit of coriander.
It's smelling amazing as well. You can really smell the chipotle. You can smell that tinga. It's really coming out nicely. You know when you've done it well, you can really smell that chipotle like coming out nice. Like it's.
By the way, are we allowed to taste this live in here?
Did you squeeze a little bit of lime?
Yes.
Perfect. We can taste this on air, I think.
Live in here?
It depends on what people want.
Are you sure? I feel bad for people watching.
Should we try it live on air, guys? Should
I think we should.
we go for it?
Take it outside?
I'm sure there's a few people over there who are logged in who probably want us to embarrass ourselves. So let's go for it.
Alright, let's do it.
I'm starving. They look starving.
What?
Unfortunately, I can't try any just yet. But
So one of the most important things that you need with Mexican food are a bunch of tissues, because it's a very messy thing.
Make sure they're minimum 2-ply.
Yeah, 2-ply
Yeah.
at least. This is about 4-ply, 5-ply for Mexican
Yeah.
food. Basically, it's catered for that. Mexican food's all about rusticness. It's not about
It's all about being messy.
It's all about being messy, and it's all about just enjoying it. There's just nothing to it apart from that. Like, put your love into it, and that's it. It will come out well. This is not French cooking. Nothing has to be divine. Nothing has to be minimalistic. So it's perfect.
the shots are ready as well. Looks like.
Yeah. Okay, who's going in first?
I
I reckon that chef should definitely have a taste.
think I'll go for it. I'm gonna go first because I'm always I'm starving Marvin. That's what they call me. That's what he's called Nick.
So
actually.
this
I'm
is
taking over.
basically how you eat a chicken tinga.
Wow. All over the beard. Love it.
Unbelievable. Honestly, this is so sexy. This is so good. It's really good. It's good balance of flavors in there. That chicken with the spiciness. You've got the black beans on the bottom over here that just adds that sort of base flavor. Then you've got the cheese, got the sour cream that cuts through the spice, and then you have the roja over there that adds a little bit to a little bit of
crunchiness
spice
of tostada as
and that
well.
crunchiness of that tostada. I mean, did you hear that sound? Can we replay that? Like MTV Cribs? Like, do it again and again. Okay, we can't do it. We don't have that kind of software here, but cool. Hey guys, this is it. This is the chicken tinga.
I think we're going to devour this after.
Yeah, we are going to go for it. And
Should we get some more questions in while we're?
Yeah, you guys will
we're
go for
having
it
a
as well.
little
We're gonna pour a couple tequilas since it's really nice and sunny today.
Yeah.
Sunday fun day.
Oh yeah.
Sunday fun day. And
Anyone from America here, USA? Unfortunately, there's no American football, so I think this is probably the best alternative.
So this is very fitting because
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
from Puebla, and this is where chicken tinga has originally come from. That's where its roots are from. The chicken tinga is originally from Puebla. We went there, we tried it, it's amazing, and that's why we're doing some shots with the Puebla glasses. All makes sense. Everything's tied in, guys.
Fortunate that there's not a glass for me.
You'll get one later.
You'll get one later, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining in. It's been a pleasure. Thanks again to Mexican Mama. We're Taco Collective. Follow us on Instagram. Stay safe. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.